Welcome to this video on co-writing, specifically writing a song along with me. Well, who am I, you probably want to know before we start. Well, my name is Eve Williams, and as well as teaching songwriting, I make a good part of my living as a songwriter. My music has been used in commercials, it's been used in documentaries, and I've written for artists who've appeared on things like The X Factor and The Voice, as well as some artists who have millions of streams on Spotify. So it's a big part of what I do, and I'm hoping you're going to enjoy writing with me. Now, there are a lot of different ways to write a song, and I'm not saying that the process we're about to follow is the definitive one, but a lot of you may be from different backgrounds. Perhaps you're a singer who doesn't really play. Maybe you're an instrumentalist, a guitarist, maybe you're a producer, maybe you're primarily a lyricist, and this video is going to be suitable for all kinds of musicians. So I hope you're ready to get started, and let's go. So we're going to start with the lyrics in this song, and I'm going to show you 3 different images, and I would like you to choose one. Now you'll notice that these are all quite emotional images. For example, we have the little girl with the teddy bear. That says childhood, innocence, comfort maybe. We have the candle. Now that could be a romantic candle at dinner. It could be a Christmas candle, a birthday cake candle. It could be a candle lit at a sad occasion, as in memory of someone, or perhaps, lighting a candle for someone who's in trouble. Then there's the bell, and that could be school bells, sleigh bells, work bells, dinner bells, all kinds of different things. So what I want you to do is choose one of these images, then take out a notebook and write down every word that you can think of associated with the image. For example, with the candle, you could use emotional words like romantic, sad, cheery, Christmas, bright, warm, and then sort of literal words like wax, orange flame, white candle, smooth, all those kind of descriptive words. So in a notebook, every word you can think of on your image. Now, once you've done that, we're going to create a story using some of the best words and phrases that came out of that previous exercise. And we're going to think about who is the story about, who is the singer telling the story, and who else is in the story. And how did these people get into the situation they are now in? And where are they going from here? What's likely to happen to them next? What is going to happen to them next? Or what would they like to happen to them next? And what is the emotional core of the song? What is the message of the song? That's going to help you to form the chorus, which is the repeated message of the song, and possibly to find the title as well. So take out your notebook and let's create a who, how, where, what, possibly when, if you want to, situation based on the words you've already come up with. So now we're going to create what's called a wireframe, which is a little, almost like a flow chart of what's going to happen in each section of the song. So I have a title here, Geek Goddess. And in verse 1, in that little section, I'm going to set up the story. So the singer describes the girl that the song is about and what has made him fall in love with her. So at the start of the song, we know what the theme of the song is and the mood and tone of the song. Then the chorus is the main point of the song, and that is that the singer can't get the geek goddess to notice him because he isn't a geek himself. So it's sort of an unrequited love song, or a hoping the love will be requited song at this point. So in verse 2, the singer lists the things he could do to capture the geek goddess's heart. So we don't just say what we've already said in the first verse. We have to take the story on somewhere. So he might learn to speak Elvish. He might travel to Tatooine. Now, here I have put, then again, would she change for him? And actually, on reflection, I think that's a better sentiment for a bridge, because it takes the lyric somewhere else and it adds that sort of conclusion to the story where he's deciding emotionally that he doesn't need to change for another person. Now, I have written this in what's called the Nashville formula, or ABAB form, which goes verse, chorus, bridge, possibly, chorus. There are other song forms out there. For example, you could write something in AAA form, which has no chorus. It's just the verse melody repeating. Folk music quite often does that. But pop music, country music, rock music, an awful lot of music has that verse chorus thing, which is why I have gone for that. You could also have pre-choruses in here that set up the chorus before you sort of launch in, which is a pretty good thing to do. Aim for sort of 2 lines, possibly 4 if you can. Choruses, kind of 6 lines possibly, versus 4 to 6 lines. Really depends on the music that you go with, and that's what we're going to look at next. So let's add some music. So now you've got a lyrical theme and hopefully a story and a structure. I'm going to give you some music to go with that. We're going to have some happy and some sad music, depending on which lyrical theme you went with and how your story has turned out. But here's a few chord sequences just to play around with. The first one is just bog standard C major. So that was basically just C, A minor, F and G. If you play an instrument, mess around with those chords, maybe make them a little bit more interesting, add some sus4s, some seconds, some ninths, whatever you feel like doing. If you're not an instrumentalist, you're purely a lyricist or a singer, then feel free to loop that little chord sequence and see what you can come up with from it. Here's now a sadder, more minor sequence. So again, you can loop that sequence if there's something you'd like to do with that. Let's just do a couple more and you can pick one. That's another one for you, or maybe this. Okay, now we're going to work at pulling a tune out of the notes of the chord, and this may or may not be how you write music. If you happen to be primarily a guitarist or a keyboard player, then it could be that you normally, when you're writing by yourself, just play a sequence of chords and pull a tune out of it. You might be more a singer where you start with the melody, or you might be more a lyricist. But for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to go with the lyric, geek goddess betters all the rest, and we're going to use those words, geek goddess betters all the rest, and try and pull that out of the key of C major. So those chords were geek goddess betters all the rest, geek goddess betters all the rest. So every note that I sang there was in the chord. So I started on the third of the chord, geek goddess, which was in the chord of C major. So if you just close your eyes and listen to one of the chord sequences that you've picked, you'll be able to pull notes out of the chords and form a tune. Try not to stick on one note too long. That's something that beginner songwriters do, is stick around the root note of the chord. I didn't start on the root note of the chord. You'll notice I didn't start on the C. I started on the E, but there's no reason why you can't start on the C. So let me actually come up with a different tune to the same chords and the same words. see what it is we're talking about here. Now, 4-chord loops can be a bit dull, but then again, there's a huge number of hit songs that are based on 4-chord loops. So if you're an instrumentalist, try and build on the chords, mix them up, change the harmonic rhythm. So instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd be playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mix it up that way. Again, if you're not an instrumentalist, just use the loops that are in this video. Play them back, rewind them and play them again. And try and close your eyes and sort of feel the chord, pull notes out of the chord to create your tune. And I'm really excited to hear some of the melodies that come out of this exercise. So what do you do when you're finished your song? It would actually be great if you posted it in the comments here with maybe a Dropbox link or a SoundCloud link. That would be amazing, and let other songwriters comment on it. You can send it to me at info@evewilliamsmusic.com for personal feedback on your song. You can join my Songwriter Circle, which meets once a month on the first Thursday of the month at 7:30 UK time. It's a very, very friendly group of people who are quite experienced, and they will give you good feedback on your song, always very constructive. Or you can go to my website, singinglessonsni.com, and sign up for my mailing list. Also, there's a link to the mailing list in the description here, an email that goes out every Thursday, and I do often feature students' work in that, and it's full of tips and encouragement in your songwriting there. You can, of course, also subscribe here on YouTube, and my courses are on Udemy and Skillshare. So there's an awful lot of places that you can take the song that you've written with me, and I can't wait to hear it. Well done for finishing the exercise.